That's it.
So going across the lake, the only thing in the water is the prop.
Yeah, zippity doodah. Yeah.
All I know is I got on the gas on that thing coming out of Colville Bay, making the bend down to go towards Vegas Wash, and I was accelerating real quick. But the thing is, what's weird about it is you didn't know. The boat was so manageable that it seemed like you were just in a regular sized bass boat. Kind of.
I'm not familiar with that hull. Is there what is there? 4 chines on the bottom?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. All I know is when I got on the trim, yeah, the power is one thing on that motor, but the torque and the lift that it delivered was it $100 in front of you.
Tim, that's 2 words that don't belong in a sentence. Mark and jet.
Right. No. Not on the water. No.
Dude, but yeah, it was.
I'd be hard pressed to go here. Take my inner tube. Oh hell no.
It was impressive enough for me to really try and figure out how I'm going to justify 2 bass boats in my world.
There's nobody to justify it to.
Huh?
There's nobody to justify it to. So if you want to do it, just go do it.
That's what I'm saying. I deserve it.
Well, there you go. All right, all the boats are in.
That's what I'm saying.
I started calling him Mark Sanders. It's like Mark Sanders all over again.
Seriously, I mean, why not?
Yeah, I can't tell you why not. It sounds reasonable to me. What's happening with Bass Junkies?
We were getting ready to do our 3rd event this coming Saturday. We will be at Alamo Lake.
Yeah, ought to be a good one.
The last tournament we did at Alamo Lake, it took almost 25 pounds to win the event. The fishery is incredible. The only other fishery that we have that consistently used to produce large bass like that was San Carlos. Yeah. And San Carlos, I mean, everybody always thought of it as being this little mud hole.
No.
And it produced some of the fattest little football fish that you
It was a mud hole, and the thing that I remember, 2 things about San Carlos was the rocks that you couldn't see because they were the same color as the water.
Yeah.
And the size of the fish.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, I grew up on that pond.
Consistently.
Going there with my granddad.
Ginormous. Yeah.
Ever since I was 3, 4 years old. I caught my first bass at San Carlos, and it's amazing. It was amazing. I've always kind of wondered what it would take to get that lake going again and all that. I hear all these stories.
It's called water.
Yeah.
Precipitation,
we have water
moisture.
Now. I hear
call it what you will.
We have water now. Where does it go? I mean, is there really dam issues there? I mean, what's the...
I think there's management issues. They oversell their water, so it's greed, avarice. Mm-hmm. They sell stuff you don't have, and then when they do get water, there's not an opportunity to stockpile it.
Yeah,
it's downstream. So
yeah, that's the thing is, everyone's excited about Alamo, and I am too. I mean, I'm leaving for it Tuesday. But here's the thing: is there's a certain degree of tact that comes into it because you can go put your head down in Alamo right now, and you can go catch 35 fish, and they'll all be 3-ish.
Yeah,
most of them 3-4 pounds.
Mark's biggest problem is he gets distracted and starts crappie fishing.
You gotta make dinner sometime.
Yeah, I know.
Quick, especially at that lake.
One of the first tournaments that I ever did was at Alamo, and I'm talking 20-something years ago. And I'm sitting there, and it was, I think it was like October, and actually it was October, November, and I found this fish that was on a bed, and I couldn't figure it out because I'm like, they shouldn't be here. This is not a feasible thing for a bass to be on a bed. And I'm sitting there and I'm pitching at it and I'm pitching at it. And of course I was naive, young, didn't know that much about bass fishing back then. And these guys come over and they got the big deck on there and they're out there bow fishing. And they're like, you having any luck? And I'm like, no, I can't get the thing. It won't even look at it. Won't turn on it. Won't do anything. You mind if we get it? And I'm like, you're going to shoot it with a bow? And they're like, yeah, it's not a bass. It's a tilapia. And that's what they were out there doing. Is they were on beds at that time. Yeah. And he stood up there and he brings up this 3.5-pound tilapia. And I'm like, well, no wonder it wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
But it's, but that lake, the last tournament we did there, we had 42 fish over 3 pounds. We had 31 fish over 4 pounds.
Right.
That were weighed in at that lake.
Nice.
See, and that's the thing. I don't really want to give away too much. You need to go out to win this tournament, which is the reason why I tournament fish. I don't fish I'm either winning or I'm finishing last. Period. You need to go find 5 big girls.
Yeah.
And so you have to weed through the mindset that a 3.4 pound bass is going to make it to weigh it. You won't win. If you have one of those this weekend, you won't win. Period.
The way that we have set up with this weather, all last week and all this week coming up, with the moon phase that we had, there should be fish that are up on beds. I would imagine the biggest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The question is, will you be able to see?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the water clarity is right now.
'Tis the season to spawn till you die. Yeah.
But the nice thing is, a full pool at Alamo is 1,129, and right now we're at 1,125. So
Yeah,
it's 4 feet shy of
good.
being full
Yeah.
pool.
Wow.
How many boats are you expecting?
The last tournament we did there, we had 88 boats. And like I said, 20, I think it was 2497 won the event. It was Steve Lund and Steve.
Tell me
That's
about
insane.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Shane Edgar and I rolled in. I want to say it was either 1597 or 1697. And we've had some
You feel
good
pretty
fish
comfortable
that
with
day.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that should be something.
Gas money.
Bro, I was barely in the top half. Barely. And I mean,
Wow.
Shane flipped a good fish, a good one, right towards the end. And I'm like, okay, well, that's going to do off something. Yeah, there was like 30 fish that big in there. I'm like, what?
Well, that's good. I was scared with what the feds were doing. Dumping that lake was really going to foul that up.
Can they do something about the rattlesnakes, Don? My favorite Alamo story.
Chicken.
I
Tastes
was
like
living in
chicken.
Tucson,
That's what I've heard.
and I did a guide trip for a guy named Tiny Mitchell. Tiny was an oxymoron. Tiny was about 6'8".
Yeah, it usually is.
So we're crappie fishing, and I had my boat to the bank, and my motor trimmed up, and we were pitching off the front. It was about 6:45, 7 o'clock at night, just right at that weird part of the day where it's gray and you really can't see.
Yeah.
So Tiny catches the crappie, and he's like, "I want to keep this one." I'm like, "Cool." So I turn around to light up the live boat so you can put it in, and he goes to step down. There's a rattlesnake stretched out across the
Shut
live
up.
boat.
No
Yeah.
way.
So Tiny decides he's going to run. I don't know if you've been in a bass boat or not, but there's not much room to run.
No.
And when you're 400 pounds and you come sprinting towards me at the nose,
Oh, that's
what
good,
is the back of the boat going to do?
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm like, bro, really? Really? And so through skill and negotiation and the fact that I had an extra pair of pants in the boat, I was able to get my push pole and at least, and the thing is you don't realize how dense and heavy a rattlesnake is.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're stout.
interesting.
So I'm flinging at this snake and he's like, well, quit. I did give him the option of going home. He wanted to stay and catch crappie. So the rest of the night, if anything brushed his leg or my leg,
Zing.
all hell
Oh, yeah.
broke loose in the boat. And he's 400 pounds. And I can't tell you how many times we almost ended up in the lake.
Let that be a lesson, guys. All right. Oh, that's so. Did you keep the snake?
No, snake was swimming.
Jeez. All right. Hey, we got to flip into a break here on Fox Sports 910. On the FM side, it's 99.9 HD2. I'm Don McDowell. We have Tim, Mark, and we'll be right back. All right, what are we doing?
So we're up now.
We're up now.
Weekend
Okay.
at Ron Day, Hollis Jefferson, and
And
the
then
Toronto Raptors join us at
if you
2:30.
could
That's
scoot over, that would
tomorrow on Rocket
actually
News
push you
Fox
all the
Sports
time because
910 on
it's like
FM
your nose
99.9.
Where do I get the
Do
link?
you own a boat? You do? Great. That's
it's
good
on,
news. So,
it's
who do you
on,
call if you have a mechanical breakdown?
the,
Run out of fuel, need a jump,
fish
or run
dot com.
aground? Ouch. It's
Post the
going to
link
happen
on
at some
Don's
point.
Facebook,
The
and
answer
then
is
I can
easy.
grab and share it
Captain
everywhere.
Stubbs at Cito. Freshwater or saltwater, Cito is your salvation for common breakdowns and issues on the
Or
water.
tell me
that
where to
could be
get it on the-
life-threatening. Call Captain
Is this where you
Stubbs
get it?
at 619-942-8085
Yeah,
or visit
Oh, there it is, right there.
Cito.com
Where you-
for your gold
Tell me what
membership
you're on
now,
so I can-
because it's going
Yeah.
to happen. Cito.
No,
Facebook or website?
I'm Officer Kenny D.
Um,
the Arizona Game and Fish Department's Operation Game.
How do I do
Program.
this? Don McDowell
Bad
Outdoors.
boys at
Boom.
Louisiana
Link.
But these
All right, here we
criminals
go.
forgot one thing. We make house calls.
The first stop on any fishing Trip is Phoenix Fishing Supply, 16th Street, just south of Camelback Road. At Phoenix Fishing Supply, they are the saltwater experts and all things fishing since 1987. Name it, they've got it. Gowdy Ted and his team of experts can service all your rods, reels, and equipment. To ensure you have the equipment to fight the fight, spool up a new line, check your brakes, clutch, and drag system. While you're there, check out the best rods, reels, lures, and terminal tackle for whatever you're fishing for. Phoenix Fishing Supply, 4810 North 16th Street. Don't lose the fight.
Here is a great way to help Arizona's wildlife conservation efforts. Put an AZ Wildlife Conservation license plate on your car, truck, or RV and show the world you care. When you do, you are contributing to the AZ Wildlife Conservation Fund, which manages grants for habitat improvements and hunter-angler recruitment. Simply go online to Arizona.com and say, Wildlife Conservation plate for your license plate renewal. Show the world you care.
Man, no idea.
All right, so
I'm on the podcast deal here.
now go to the YouTube. I have the YouTube. I'll just send it to you right now. Let me.
Okay.
Okay. So now I can go to that. I can go share. Okay. Now you. Live.
You got Doug on the line?
I don't. He's posting the newsletter right now.
Huh?
He's going to be posting the newsletter right now.
All right, I'm typing fast.
What's that shirt you wear?
XL?
Well, I'm the only fat ass.
You fish? Absolutely.
Holy crap. Okay. Hold on.
Actually, we're going to buy another truck just so it tows the boat there.
There we go.
So, yeah. Well, my budget's like $4,000. So. I was even thinking about that, like older Dodge work truck or something like that.
Taco Bell's nacho fries return in a story about friends who dive into the underground market of Mexican spices and warm nacho cheese sauce. Learn from their mistakes. Your nacho fries today for a limited time at a participating Taco Bell
French fries.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
I'm hurrying. Yeah. Why? Okay.
Come back.
All right, we're back here. We're going to have some fun today. I think we're going to start something probably want to do every week. I was talking to Mark and Tim, and this time of year is just a unique opportunity with the bass in pre-spawn or bass spawning. There's some getting off the beds. I mean, it's crazy out there. So this time of year, you can use your strength, your best technique to catch bass. So what I've asked these guys to do, and I don't know if Mark did it or not. Did you bring a bait down here to talk about? I brought my favorite bait. Woo! Yeah, a top water.
Well, okay, so Don,
I brought my Rico. Woo! Hammer shad.
There's two ways I can answer this question. It made it to the studio, but it's in the truck. So I can still talk about it.
It's like my dog ate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Ben brought some baits down, so we're going to talk about that. Okay, so I want to tell everybody, hey, we're live on YouTube. We've been put in Facebook jail for the last time for picking on the Democrats, supporting gun rights, Second Amendment. Did you know, Tim, that Maricopa County has become a Second Amendment gun sanctuary county?
I heard that. Absolutely.
What was that about? How did that happen? The Dems were asleep at the wheel. They were stuck at Starbucks and couldn't get out. The Subaru wouldn't start. Oh my goodness!
Oh Jesus!
Wow, amazing. I'm happy to see that. So, Tim, let's start with you.
Well, a couple of
Buzz
things
baits. Let's talk about. I love buzz baits. I love top water bait. I want to talk about Rico and the.
Everybody has their
Hammerhead.
favorite baits out there, hands down, bar none. But if you guys, Persuader has been around for a very long time.
Right here. I have one. I'm gonna take this out of the wrapper.
Their buzz baits are absolutely crazy. Now,
check out these blades.
Holding.
Look at that, guys. You got a blade within a blade.
And so you have your nickel on the outside, and then you have your white blade on the inside. And you want to talk about a thumper. You get two different sounds as you're bringing it across the water, and it churns the water as it's coming across.
Oh yeah.
They also make a top water bait, which is right here. Which this one is actually it's a multi-purpose. So you
hold that up so we can see. You got a camera right there.
We'll get it over to the camera here.
Give it to the cameraman.
Now that particular bait,
Isaac's kind of like a jack of all trades.
Absolutely. Well, that one, I mean, he
can even cut his own hair.
What's that?
He can even cut his own hair.
You can walk it.
He does such a fine job.
Well, that bait right there, you can walk it, you can pop it, but it actually, the gill plates that it has, as you're popping it, it will splash water through it. So it doesn't just splash water to the front; it actually throws water to the back side.
Yeah.
And the baits that he makes, spinner baits.
That looks like a chugger.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And
in fact, that's big enough.
Profile.
That bait is big enough. If you would change the hook out, yeah, you could throw that over on the saltwater side.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. It's but one of the things that I wanted to when you come out and you fish one of our tournaments, yes, we charged a membership fee this time.
Well, I want to, as we go through, I want to discover what the fees are, what the all-in price is, membership, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But have you had a chance to fish this Persuader buzz bait personally?
That Persuader buzz bait is insane. Yeah. Yes, I.
Yeah, they were popular a few years ago, and then they kind of vanished.
Yeah, so Gerald acquired Persuader, and he is the owner of Persuader now.
Gerald,
and,
okay.
They are located in Wilcox, Arizona. So they're still a local Arizona bait company.
That's cool.
And that's one of the things that we take pride in is trying to support our.
I'm just glad there's still people living in Wilcox.
It's actually a quaint little town.
It is.
Quaint.
I had never been there.
So Seligman.
And one of the things that me and my wife had drove out there, and one of the things that we had noticed is I think there's 3 traffic lights in the whole town.
Yeah, but boy, they get one hell of a traffic jam.
When did they add the other 2? Oh wow. So I went through, and rather than talk about a bait.
No, we're talking about baits today.
But I have a rod saver.
I don't care. We're talking about baits.
Fine.
Bait. Pick a bait. Go. Why?
Pick a bait. This time of year, do you want like the bait or it's just
your favorite bait right now? If you had to go fish today and you could take one bait, what would it be?
What lake we're going to? It's outside. Okay, so
in Candle Park.
Okay, so there's the Super Fluke, right?
I knew it. Okay.
I actually have upgraded the Super Fluke, and I'm now to the biggest one, Magnum Fluke in white ice. Excuse me. I'm throwing that on depending on how high in the water column I want to fish it, I'll go from a light wire 5/0 straight shank worm hook to, and here's the secret, to a 5 or 6/0-ish flipping hook, because it's heavy and I get away from the offset. I like that straight shank hook because it actually acts as a rudder. Whereas the offset, it keeps, I like the bait to fall nose down.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So with that offset hook, it promotes that a lot better. And as it falls down, I mean, with the straight shank, it kind of sachets down.
Okay.
And it's a big bait.
I don't have a problem with a fall with an offset. And I prefer the offset, but one thing I'll do on that to keep that nose right there is a little spot of super glue.
Uh-huh.
And away we go.
Yeah, that is Don't see super glue. That's why I also like the straight shank hook. Is they have that little rebarb on there,
Right?
So it kind of sits there and it won't come up because.
Okay, well that's the point.
Yeah, because it still allows the bait to slide up. It's a big bait, and all I'm going to say is this time of year, a lot of guys bedfish with the Tora tube.
Yeah.
The big Tora tube. How would you like it if your Tora tube could also double as an injured shad? How much water could you cover?
Oh, lots.
Okay, so you can just take that bait and I can actually use it to locate fish. And then when I find them, I don't have to put a rod down. So I can go around the bait. I can do. If I catch a male, pretty obvious there's a female around there somewhere. Okay, so I've caught the male, so automatically the female's a little sketched out. Most females will be like, woohoo, he's gone, and just go party with the girls. Not bass, they get a little weird. And so after she gets done getting weird,
this because why?
Because I've been married.
Okay.
So I can take that same bait and I can pull it over the bed and kill it. And now it's going
Stop.
shoom,
Yeah.
shoom, 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 and it sits down on the bed. And then so then the nose hits, and that's usually when the female rushes up to it. Okay? Just like, somebody said, sale at Starbucks, Don.
No.
And then so once the nose hits and then that bait starts to fall down on the bed, guess what she does?
Yep.
Okay, catch them. So that probably is my number one. And this is a technique I've just started playing with in the past 2 years in my rehab of bass fishing.
Okay.
The big fluke, the big one. It's a Magnum.
Yeah.
You can get it at Phoenix Fishing Supply.
Tim, what's your favorite bed bait?
Well, the biggest problem with that is you have to be out on the water in order to
to
be able to do that.
Okay.
Now, honestly,
let's pretend. Okay.
Here is
Tim's in a boat on the lake.
If I'm in the boat, they don't make them anymore, unfortunately. But Andre with Reaction Innovation used to make the little Trixie.
Yeah.
And it was a little tiny profile bait that had a skirt on it. So at one end you had a skirt like you would with a hula grub.
Sure.
The other end was just a very small, slender profile. You could throw that Texas rig. You could throw that drop shot.
What color?
White.
White
was absolutely. And you could throw that right in the middle of a pod of shad and catch fish on it.
Yeah.
It was just that good of a bait.
I was going to point out one of my favorite bed baits is a white lizard, 4-inch. They're really hard to find, and Gilbert Archie back in the day poured a bazillion of them. Chris from Fat Bass poured a few. I probably got 100 of them left, and they've got blue fleck in them. But I'll tell you what, they're absolutely brutal to bass on a bed. So
one of the things that a lot of people they get stuck on. Well, I used to call it being stuck on stupid. You get stuck on one bait because you can see it.
Oh yeah.
But one of the sponsors that we have is 5150 Plastics. And one of the things that gets overlooked during bed season is, I don't care if it's Texas rig, I don't care if it's drop shot.
Sure.
You throw a natural color on that bed and they'll be more apt to eat that a lot quicker than they would trying to eat something that you're sitting there trying to get them.
Something that I can see.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. And these plastics, if we got to go to a commercial, I'll talk about it.
We need to do that, and then when we come back here, we'll talk about those guys. Hey, this is Fox Sports 910, FM 99.9. I'm Don McDowell. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I got to the point where if I spot them and they're locked on and I know I can catch them, then I'll throw something down there that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not, you throw and they tend to get skittish and swim away a little bit. Normally they don't go far, but they don't want to focus on what you're throwing in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw a drop shot in there. I couldn't tell you. Me and my youngest fished a tournament at Havasu, and we had just under 20 pounds, and that's all we did was drop shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we did, and we had 2 5-pounders. I mean, it was just and took third place. That was for sure we won it.
My granddad taught me something. I still
Yeah.
do. He used to look at me and say, "Hey, can you see a fish bite when you're just out fishing?" I'm like, "No." Like, you still catch it? Yes, sir. Why I need to see that one that's right there?
Yep.
You'll still catch it.
Yep.
And I'm like, this one bitch is right.
Well, and the funny part about it is it, okay, you spotted it, back off, fire up their blind.
Yeah.
Because they will actually come off the bed to see what it is if you are not sitting over the top of them.
Yes. I thought I was a good sight fisherman. This is the most insane fishing day of my life. This really kind of put it in perspective. So John and Byron were living in the house up in Boulder Creek. And we had, was it a Monday after a red man? We had one bass and then red man, and we all made checks. So we were like, we get up Monday and we were like, let's go sight fishing. Let's just go fight sight fish. So me, John, Aaron, and Byron all got in one boat and went sight fishing. Guys are in 20 feet of water, and this is the level that these guys were at. Aaron would pitch his jig on the bed, and John would take his bait and pitch it over and knock Aaron's off and put it. They're fighting. I mean, they're like literally fighting underwater with bait fish. And I'm looking at this going, this is the damnedest thing I've ever seen. But the shit that they could even see, at that point, I was like, you know what? I can't do it, so I got to adjust. I can't look in the water and see what these clowns are seeing. So I got to learn to fish from blind, and it works. That works for me.
Yep, absolutely. My oldest, Stefan, we call him Hawkeyes because I mean, man, when he's down there, you know, he can see stuff. I mean, I'm looking, going, let me see your glasses. You know, it's got to be the tint of your glasses. You know, I'm running the semi amber, and he's running the bright yellow, and I'm like, and I put his on, and I'm like, damn, I can see less with yours than I can with mine, and I still can't see that bass you're talking about. What the hell are you seeing? Right. But the older I get, the worse it gets.
Yeah, you just don't frustrate yourself. If you know about where it is.
I honestly, I haven't been out sight fishing in, God, 4 or 5 years now. Well, since I started bass junkies, you know, I just don't get the opportunity, and it's I got to start making more time to go fish again. But yeah, it's hard, you know.
Right.
Got a business to run, and then trying to do the bass tournament and stay on top of that.
What do you do?
I move cactus. That's what I actually do for a living.
No shit.
Yeah, big cactus, big organ pipes and stuff like that.
Huh.
Dang.
So I've been doing that I had my reign here in Arizona. I was the only one that did the big stuff for 20 years. And now there's other companies that are trying to do it. But
so you got the thing that goes.
Oh, no, we do it all by hand.
Thank you, sir.
Damn. No audio before?
No, there was. I just want to use the headphone.
Stay up to date with the latest outdoorsman news across the nation. Sign up today at huntingmission.com. Now back to Don McDowell Outdoors on Fox Sports 910.
All righty, we're back. Hey, we've got the master rod builder from Rim Country Custom Rods in downtown Payson and Commissioner for Arizona Game and Fish Department, James Guggenauer. James, what is going on up in Payson? I saw a little cloud cover headed your way. Moisture is a good thing. I'll tell you what, that's awesome stuff to have. Hey, listen, I appreciate you chiming in. Boy, we got a lot of stuff going on. Let me ask a couple of commission questions. Is there any movement on the 7 East Young Canyon trick tank debacle up there? Okay. Well, we're following that pretty closely. Offered some rewards and stuff, but I was talking to some folks up in Flagstaff, and these guys are pretty upset that somebody do that. And you know, they've offered to launch a lynch mob up there to help the process. So, okay, well, what's happening at Rim Country Custom Rods? Okay. Hey,
So what you're saying is March 5th could be a pretty gnarly day to
yeah.
fishing?
Well, here's the deal, guys. I've got a question from one of our fan listeners about the moon. Does the moon affect bass fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, the moon affects everything. You ever been out down in Tempe on Mill Avenue when there's a full moon?
Oh my
Dude,
goodness.
the freaks come out and it's the same thing fishing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You see, people, this is what you need to understand. A largemouth bass has some distinct characteristics that it shares with, well, drunk women and fat, lazy men. Period.
James, you need to help me out here. We're getting sideways.
It's true. Dude, they are offered.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow, that is just huge.
Huh.
Now, is that affecting just the Tonto and the Salton, or is Main Lake still staying pretty clear?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can go get you a flipping stick and a black and blue jig and get up in that warm, muddy water and be a real man about your fishing. Just saying.
Okay, so hey James, we're profiling baits. Tim's talked about some. Mark's doing super fluke things, and I'm going to be talking about the hammer shad here in a little bit. If you had to take one bait to go fish right now, what would you do? What bait? Bam. Yep. Interesting thought. Okay, very cool. Very cool. What else you got for us? Yeah. Interesting. That's, we're looking forward to having you guys as our guests. That's going to be outstanding, and we appreciate your participation. You get a blue slip, you get 3 minutes. That's it. You don't want me in Tucson. Thank you.
Sadly, he's not kidding.
Wow. Wow. All right, that's good news. Yeah, the credit cards have been getting hit this past week, so interesting to see. Do you know if that process has been completed as of today? Okay, well, it's going to be over the counter for me. I didn't get I didn't get plucked, so. Well, I'll take that glimmer of hope. It'll get me through the weekend. All right, hey, we got to flip into a break. Great jobs. We appreciate your participation, James. You're doing a good job for the state and the fishing community, and we appreciate that. James Guggenauer, Master Rod Builder, Rim Country Custom Rods, and Commissioner for AZGFD. So anyway, that said, we're going to flip into a break on Fox Sports 910, 99.9 HG2 on the FM side. I'm Don McDowell. We'll be right back.